Now that you've had an overview of QAPlanner, let's see how easy it is to plan out the testing for a release. To get started, we would go into Test Cases, then click Show Test Cases. From here, we'll see both our library and our runs folders. Well, let's imagine that we were planning out Release 5 and we needed to be able to create a set of test cases and reuse some of those from the library. To do that, we would go to the Test Runs, Hide, then we would press Add, and then we would stub out our Release 5.0 folder. So as soon as we press Submit here, it will now create an empty folder here with no test cases in it. The next step is to go to our library. Now if we wanted to copy all of the test cases from the library, we could simply click on Test Library and go copy those. But let's say that we only care about testing the order listing screen, so these 8 test cases. To do that, we would simply go there, press Fast Edit, and then click on Copy Items from one folder to the other. Once we get here, we would simply expand our test runs area, highlight the test cases we wish to copy into there, and simply drag and drop them into that release folder. Once we've done that, we'll see that those 8 test cases are now ready to be run. To begin running, we simply go in and we begin running these test cases. We can collapse this panel here so that we can see more on the screen. We'll go ahead and run this test case and we'll pass it because everything looks good. Then we'll navigate to the next one. Let's imagine that this one passes. We'll mark that passed, moved on to the next one. But let's say for whatever reason this particular test case fails. We can fail it and we can continue on. Now as these test cases are being run, it will show that run history over here in our listing, so we can very quickly see which ones have passed, which ones have failed. And as we remember before, the failed ones turn red, the passed ones turn green. We also showed earlier how we are able to use the dashboard to determine which test cases have passed and which ones have failed for a particular release. So we can now drill into that Release 5 and see that run history at this point as well. Many times you'll want to filter your data. Let's imagine that you have your list of test cases here in your runs area and you wanted to find any of the test cases that had to do with a new order. Well, if you want to filter those, you simply come here, press Quick Search, then type in your criteria, maybe New Order. And you can search a particular field like maybe the title of the test case, or you could search all fields if you decide to do that, including or excluding notes. As soon as you press Submit, it'll then find that we have 37 of the 182 tests that have to do with new orders. To turn this filter off, simply come here, choose No Filter, and then that resets the filter. If you want to save a filter for later, you can do that as well. There's a filters icon here. Go into that area and start to custom define a filter. Let's imagine that we wanted to see all of the test cases that have been updated in the last 30 days or the last week or something of that nature. We could come here and query on it. We could say, show me anything that has a date updated greater than or equal to, and if you wanted to use a token here, press this little button here and that will bring up an Explorer, and then you can say I want to see anything that's been updated, let's say in the last week. Alright, you also may want to be able to add some additional criteria, but maybe I only want to see the ones that are in a failed state that have been updated. So we can also filter on status of failed. And again, if I don't remember my valid statuses, press the ellipse button, it'll give us the choice. So I'll choose failed here. Now at this point we can name this filter and we can make it public so other people can use it, or we can keep it private for ourselves. But let's give it a friendly name. We'll say all failed test cases in past week. We'll press Submit. It'll go query the data. It finds that we have 4 test cases that meet that criteria. Then if we want to turn that filter off, we can very easily toggle back to no filter. If we want to go back to that filter, here it is conveniently for us. We can very easily toggle back to it if we need to. Now we saw earlier how you can use the dashboard to analyze things. We also have a number of reports that can be very helpful for you. Just go to the reports area and then you'll notice a series of different reports. Let's imagine that we wanted to see a test cases by assignee report. To launch it, we simply click it and it will show us the report. If we want to see all of the test cases by tester, we can also navigate them here. So let's look at Cindy's. Well, within Cindy's, we can see that she has 97 or 98 test cases that are waiting run. If we wanted to drill into that, we can double click and it'll show us those 97 here, and we can start to really evaluate that information. Now, another thing that you can do from here is you can also print this report by pressing this print button. I can also export it. Let's imagine that you wanted to export this report. You can export it to Excel, Word, or PDF. Let's do PDF. We'll type in steve.pdf and we'll press OK, and it'll begin exporting that data. Next, it'll ask us if we want to see that exported report. Once we do it, it then shows us that report in WYSIWYG format. QAPlanner, as you've seen, is quick to get started with, and it's available on demand anytime. No need to install anything, just sign up and you'll be able to use QAPlanner right away. And by the way, did I tell you it was free? If you haven't signed up for your free copy of QAPlanner, why not do it now? I'll route you out to the sign up page now so that you can get started immediately. Thanks for your time, and we hope you enjoy QAPlanner.